Hello, my name is Sam Sloan. I'm a candidate for President of the United States. Many people are surprised to learn where I live. I live in the Morris Heights section of the Bronx. Actually, my house is overlooking, you can see from the window, the Cross Bronx Expressway. So I'm actually right next to the Cross Bronx Expressway. I'm living in what is considered to be the highest crime area of New York City. There's more crimes committed and more people arrested in my neighborhood than any other place in New York City. And people wonder why I'm here. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm very proud to be here. I'm very satisfied with my life here. If I'm ever elected president, I will keep up this residence. I have what's called scree. In other words, I'm locked into this place for the rest of my life. My my rent, frankly, is rent controlled. They'll never raise my rent, and I'll never have to move out as long as I can make the rent payments, which is very minimal. And I have no objections. It so happens that this particular building that I'm in the last house on Davidson Avenue. When a new management took over a couple of years ago, they renovated the entire building, and all the other tenants in the building had to move out because basically they wanted all the buildings. And I alone stayed here, and the reason I stayed here, frankly, is I refused to move. I'm not moving. I like this place. I'm staying. So they tried to get me out of here, but they couldn't. So eventually they renovated all the other apartments in this building. Then they moved me to the apartment across the hall, to apartment 1A. Then they renovated this apartment, which I'm in now, which is apartment 1B. Then they moved back into apartment 1B. And here I am. And I'm very happy there. And they moved a whole bunch of new people into the building, and they mostly from Africa. I mean, born in Africa, not African Americans, people born in Africa, especially from Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Mali. And I haven't learned the names of my new relatives, my new neighbors. They're moving in all the time. But I'm quite happy here. And also, in the street that I live on is predominantly Spanish speaking. So yo puedo hablar español muy bien. Más o menos, okay. And I speak Spanish every day to my neighbors here, and they are mostly from Dominican Republic. I suspect, frankly, that many of them are here illegally. They came in barco. They swam across. But nevertheless, they are good citizens. I've never had any problem here at all. There was an incident about 2 or 3 years ago where a boy came across the street with a gun, and he shot out the window of apartment 2A above my apartment. And the reason was he wanted to show his love for a beautiful girl who lived upstairs. And they did come by and arrest that guy, and as far as I know, he's still in jail. And they did repair the window because it had a bullet hole through the window. But other than that, there has been no actual violence, as far as I know, in this neighborhood. Oh yeah, we by the way, I do want to mention that we are a Democratic open society. As a matter of fact, we have both the Bloods and the Crips right here on this neighborhood, Davidson Avenue. And I'm proud to have them as my neighbors. And mostly they're down at the other end of the street, though. They're down next to the school, which is PS 303X, which is the school my daughter attends. They live down the street, and the Bloods and Crips don't come on this end of the block, basically. They go on the other end of the block down there. So I've never had any problem with those people either. So. And they don't shoot each other too much either. So everything's. Oh yeah, I do want to mention, by the way, and I feel so sad about this, and I just can't help but mention it. Only 2 weeks after I moved in, a little boy, only 2 years old, was shot and killed. And the reason he was shot and killed, it was on Easter Sunday. His mother was driving him to church for Easter Sunday, and they had a big SUV van. And he was in the car seat in the back seat, and he was coming down Tremont Avenue, right on the corner of Davidson Avenue. And there were 3 black guys on one side of Tremont Avenue, and they decided to shoot at the Spanish guys on the other side of Tremont Avenue. And it just so happened that just as they fired the gun across the street, the van with this little boy in it in the car seat was going past, and just incredibly bad luck that the bullet went to the van and went to the window of the van and entered the boy's heart and killed him on the spot. It's just such a terrible, horrible tragedy. And one of the men, his last name was Graham. This, of course, was in the newspaper. This happened in 2005, and his picture was in the newspaper. And I actually recognized the guy. I knew the guy. His last name was Graham. It was a black guy, though, but it happens to be this. My grandmother was named Graham, so I guess we could be relatives. And I do feel very, very so sad about this little 2-year-old boy that got shot in the heart like that. But since then, nobody's been killed. At least nobody's been shot dead that I know of. In the last 11 years that I've been here. So that's the story about my neighborhood.